fan favorite show, and survey time. Alright, let's see. We're at level 30. We're almost at level 32. I'm 8 points away. And we've got Bounce Bullard. Oh, so it's like one of those like side bouncer thingies. Okay. And then... that's actually not bad. I kind of like that. Don't know if it's worth one of my precious crowns, though. No, it's okay. Oh, look at that. We've been creamed. Eggshell. Alright, let's see. Show selector. I guess let's do this fan favorite one. So, welcome back to In Chat. Here we are, once again in Fall Guys. I have been thinking about, like, what else I want to do other than Fall Guys. Like, what else should I do? Again, Splatoon was always a great option. But, yeah, Splatoon hasn't had a new game. Right, I've had no reason to really play Splatoon, and yeah, the show started in Splatoon, but that's because it used to be a monthly show during every Splatfest. Oh, and we are starting late tonight because, yeah, I just got back from board game night, and we will talk about that later. Oh, wireless controller is low. Whatever. If I have to plug it in, I can plug it in. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. But it's been a busy week for me. Just like, again, college is the next month basically. College is keeping me busy. Oh my gosh. So like video games, I mean technically there is one thing to talk about, kind of, but like still haven't played Tunic. Nope, I was actually going to play it today, but then I was just like, you know, I'd rather just take a nap. So I did that instead, and... well, okay, I also watched some TV. Again, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, today is just going to be a nice, relaxing night. We're not... I mean, we have a few stories, but nothing too big, nothing major. And I'm sure WIBE will take a while, but, that's WIBE. Of course, the one time I picked the bad side. This is still my favorite use of the, I think it's called the Big Yeetus. The giant hammer. Is when you can just go here and just skip all the way to the end. Yeah. It's honestly, that's really all that's been going on. Is I've just been busy, man. There's one that has like invisible Fall Guys on these maps, but I haven't actually played that one yet. There are still ones that I have never played, or I've only ever played like once. But yeah, I've never played that one with the invisible guys because that was added in one of the midway updates. I'm waiting. I know like I'm still like 20 short of the season or whatever. But I am actually I am ready for the next update. I'm wondering how long they are going to push it. Because I know the Switch version is this summer. And it would or the Switch and Xbox version. And it would make sense to wait for the next big update until you've got the Switch and the Xbox versions. And now they have account migration, so that's good, I guess. I was trying to stay on. It's all about hitting the right pipe. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. I don't know if we can make it. We might be able to get close at least. No, I don't think we can anymore. Yeah, no. Sugar snap peas. But yeah, I have definitely been thinking about, like, what other game I like. Do I want to do, like, Halo Infinite? I don't know. The one nice thing about Splatoon was very simple. Whereas, and Fall Guys is pretty simple. But, like, other things, like Halo, might be a little bit more complicated. Microsoft Flight Sim, that'd be neat. Did I ever mention that I was thinking about getting another, so, as I've said before, right, I got a new TV finally, after, like, years. One that does nice 4K visuals. And I was like, you know, I really would. And I want to hook my capture card up to it, but my capture card doesn't work on my new TV. For some weird reason, the audio doesn't work. And I know it's specifically my capture card, because I tested somebody else's, one of my roommates, and theirs worked fine. It's specifically my card. But they actually put out a new capture card recently. And I'm like, oh, because that would allow me to clear up some space on my desk, and that would actually be really nice. Like, I might be able to actually, a new capture card would be pretty cool. But I don't know. I've definitely thought about it. Because, yeah, they put out a new Elgato, whatever. And I'm like, like, if I was getting better views, I would totally do that. But, you know, at most I get 3 people on stream a night. So, yeah. No. I don't know. It's one of those things where you just keep grinding away at, and maybe one day it'll pay off. At least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Yeah, so I have definitely been thinking about that. Because, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know I could do Mario's Kart. Like, I could just go randos online. Because I did talk about that, right? How I got, perfect stars in every Mario Kart course. Now, 200cc, all the new ones. Yeah, I worked my ass off to get that. But I did. So, yeah. I did that between, yeah, after Animal Crossing ended. Okay, there is that, but I'm not going to be stupid like that guy. Oh, God damn. Oh my gosh, I just got comboed there. Okay, I've still got some time. I see the slime down there. This cactus dude is what's screwing me up. Oh, and that cactus dude's out. Okay, we have to do this a certain number of times to get one of the... Okay. So yeah, on to our first news story of the day. those are just some things I'm thinking about in the back of my head. I just wanted to say that yeah, I'm thinking about news. I'm thinking about capture cards and other games and whatnot, because we've been doing Fall Guys for so long, and I really like Fall Guys, right? I'm decent enough at it. I'm not great at it, but I'm decent. But yeah, our first story is Fire Emblem Three Hopes got a new trailer this week. So out of every game revealed at the last Nintendo Direct, Three Hopes is the one that surprised me the most. Because while I was expecting a new Fire... Well, okay, the Mario Kart thing did as well, but that's because we were all expecting Mario Kart 9. But no, because we were all expecting a new Fire Emblem game, because it's been a few years. Three Houses was 2018, I clearly don't remember when games came out anymore, because I thought Pokemon Sword and Shield came out in 2018. No, it came out in 2019. And I just didn't remember that, like, at all. So yeah, clearly I don't know when games came out anymore. But the thought process, though, was, like, yeah, we were going to get a new Fire Emblem game, because Three Houses came out a while ago, and it was probably going to be another Fire Emblem Echoes. Maybe this time we'd get, maybe this time we'd get, personally, I've wanted, Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, right? Because those games, they're so expensive, they're so hard to find a copy of, it would make sense. Most people's predictions, though, on the other hand, were that we'd get Genealogy of the Holy War, which is a game kind of similar to Three Houses, because, you know, you're picking factions and you're making choices and whatnot. Supposedly, I don't know, I've never actually played the game. But, like, that always made sense to me. I was like, either one of those made sense. Instead, we got Three Hopes, which is, like, another story in the Three Houses universe. But it's another Musou game. It's like Hyrule Warriors, or Fire Emblem Warriors, or Dynasty Warriors, or Samurai Warriors, or other Warriors games that's names I'm forgetting. Right, that was honestly the big surprise, was that this was a Musou game. Because, you know, Musou games, like, I don't know how well Fire Emblem Three Houses did, or Fire Emblem Warriors did. But the fact that I was able to get a copy of Fire Emblem Warriors for like $20, like 3 years ago, nah, it was probably closer to 2 years ago. Again, time has become a complete blur since COVID. But the fact that I was able to get a copy for stupid cheap always made me think that the game didn't do that well. Because why else would a game go that cheap, especially only like a year or two after launch? A Nintendo game. Any other company, no. Like, I was able to get Deathloop for that price, like, God damn it, this asshole. Oh. But yeah, so that made no... So, like, getting another Fire Emblem Warrior games. Not that I heard it was bad. I actually heard it had some good improvements over, Oh my gosh, he juked me out. Yeah, I heard it had some good improvements over, Hyrule Warriors, but I also heard that, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity had those same improvements, so yeah. And I really enjoyed Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And I've kind of been curious about picking up Hyrule Warriors. I just didn't have the intention to do it anytime soon, and I'll be honest, I do not have the intention to pick up this game anytime soon as well. Like, I'm sure I will at some point, but at the moment, I have no intention to do so. Oh my gosh, I actually won that. Holy shit. I was gonna go down to those two platforms down there. Holy crap, I actually won that. Okay, I know I've been unfocused because I was trying to win that. But, yeah, so I liked Fire Emblem Warriors Age of Calamity. I enjoyed it really well. Didn't pick up the DLC, but I enjoyed it. So I was always like, oh yeah, maybe I will one, right? Like, maybe I will, because I have Fire Emblem Warriors. Maybe I'll play that one day. It's always been something that I've been, like, thinking about in my back burner. But, yeah, and I've always, same thing with Hyrule Warriors, I've never, like, Fire Emblem Warriors, yeah, I got it for, like, $20 a year, maybe 2 years after release. Hyrule Warriors, I've never seen on sale. Maybe I've seen it $20 off, but never 40. But no, they decided to make another one. Now, my prediction for this one was it's called Three Hopes. So what if, like, the whole hope element is... Because in Fire Emblem Three Houses, I've never played it, I should say. My understanding is you start off in, like, the monastery, and, like, you're a teacher, you're Byleth, you're teaching the classes and everything. And then eventually there's a time skip, and post-time skip you have to pick one of the three houses. Right? Edelgard, the blue one, and the gold one. I always forget the other two, honestly. Is Claudia one of them? Or Claudio? That sounds right in my head. I honestly don't remember. Because I've never played the game. But, so, my thought was like, oh, what if Three Hopes is instead of, like, going to war, it's an alternate timeline where, you know, you don't do that. Which I know that's the problem with Fire Emblem Fates Revelations? So there were three Fire Emblem Fates. There was Birthright and Conquest. Birthright was you pick the Hoshido. Conquest was you pick the Nor. But then there was a third one called Revelations that had you pick, like, your own middle path. And then, of course, there's Smash Bros, but yeah. And people did not like that third middle path. The one where you made your own was like I know Fire Emblem, the only people that hate Fire Emblem more than non-Fire Emblem fans are, like, Smash Bros fans, are Fire Emblem fans. Fire Emblem fans hate Fire Emblem. So, that was, but, like, even still, like, people who liked Fates, specifically Birthright, specifically Conquest, did not like the middle path. The middle path was just very poorly designed. So, like, I could see that being people's, like, hesitation. Where it's like, oh, if they're combining all three paths into one, oh, will that be as good? Because when Fates did that, it wasn't good. But that doesn't, based on this new trailer we got, that doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like you're still picking one of the three, Edelgard, the blue one, or the gold one. So yeah, that still seems to be a thing. And yeah, now admittedly, I don't know if, like, the big, like, war is gonna still happen, and everyone's gonna still hate each other, and yeah, I don't know. It looks like part of this looks more tame than, like, some of the shit I've heard about the default game. But, like, maybe this is because it's Three Hopes. That makes me think they're going for a more peaceful, hopeful resolution. But yeah, we saw some of the playable characters. Your protagonist in this game is not Byleth. You actually play somebody different. You play, oh god, I don't remember if they got a name. You can play it either a guy or a girl, because, you know, it's modern Fire Emblem, so you get to make your own character. And it can be a guy or a girl, and they have, like, purple hair. I think they're called, like, the Mercenary, or something. Like, they have a name like that, like the Mercenary, the Monado, the Mischievous. It's something, I think. And, like, you're playing as, like, them. And, right, you're setting off, you join one of the three sides. And, like, every side, we saw, like, right, Edelgard, the blue guy, and the silver guy, or the gold guy who rides the dragons. Right? Those three are playable characters, and then, like, each of their henchmen are playable characters. So we saw Edelgard's, like, servant, someone who works for the blue guy, and then that one pink-haired girl who works for the gold guy, the golden deer. Don't remember, is her name Hilda? See, I don't remember any of the characters' names at all, besides Edelgard, for some reason. But yeah, so those are the playable characters. And then the other interesting reveal, again, having never played Three Houses, at least, is that Byleth is the antagonist. Because Byleth also has, like, a title like the Assassin or something like that. So, like, you're playing as, like, this new character, and the enemy is Byleth. Which, that sounds very interesting. Again, all I know is, Awakenings, and I know, like, there was that thing in, like, Awakenings where, like, Robin was being controlled, and evil and whatnot, and that's why Lucina has to go back in time to break time, to save Chrom from being killed by Robin. Or something like that. Oh my gosh. But no, I definitely do, like, so there seems to be, like, those elements that people liked about Three Houses still seem to be here. So that middle path, like, neutral potential that I saw why some people were worried about, I mean, they might still reach a peaceful resolution at the end of the day, but it's not going to be, like, it's not going to be the peaceful resolution of, like, or at least, like, you're not all working on sides together. I don't know. I feel like the idea of Three Houses is actually a very clever one. Where it's like, oh, it's one game, but there's 3 potential paths. And it's just like, I bet, like, the battles stay the same, mostly. I bet it's just the story is different for each one. And I feel like, yeah, that's got a lot of potential. And so now they're going to potentially take that over to a Muso game. And now, Muso games, like, if you actually play the official ones, like Samurai Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, those games I have heard are not very good. Like, Dynasty Warriors 9 and whatever the most recent Samurai Warriors are not, like, good. Like, people do not like those games. However, while Bandai Namco is it Team Ninja? It's not Ninja Theory. I think it's Team Ninja that does the Warriors games. While they're making all of their IP shitty, when it comes to making Nintendo IP, right, like Fire Emblem, they put a lot of effort into it. Like, again, Fire Emblem Warriors, I don't remember it selling that well. I think it still probably sold like 1 million units, though. But yeah, while I don't remember it doing that great, it's still, like, there was clearly effort put into it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I hope this does well. I'd love to see different Warrior, like, Fire Emblem and Zelda totally lend themselves to the Warriors franchise. I get how the first 2 Warriors games came out of those 2 series. But I think there's a lot of potential for a Mario Warriors. I think there's potential for a Kirby Warriors. Star Allies proved that there are a lot of lovable Kirby characters. I think a Kirby Warriors, especially bringing back the super abilities from Return to Dreamland, would work really well. No, Kirby Warriors, Mario. I don't really need a Splatoon one, honestly. I don't know. I feel like there's potential. Like, if Nintendo was the type of company that bought up other companies, like what we're seeing Microsoft do and Sony kind of do, I would think that they would buy up, again, Ninja Theory, Team Ninja, whatever the company's called. That would be a very logical assumption, because they're getting better work out of the studio than the studio puts into their own games. But no, nothing at the moment, so... So for the time, we continue onwards as if nothing ever happened. Oh, shit. Okay, we're good. But yeah, has anybody fallen off? I think we went in with this 30. Oh, this might be a problem. I'm actually gonna stay back. Okay, that could have gone better, but that also could have gone way worse. Yeah, so we got a new Fire Emblem trailer. One day I want to play Three Houses. One day I will. I don't know when, but I do want to. I am definitely curious. Next up, we have Bugsnax. So, right, Game of the Year Bugsnax got a new announcement for its DLC. So I think at a PlayStation conference in like December of last year, we got a trailer for the Isle of Bigsnax, which was going to be the DLC for Bugsnax. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll buy DLC for Bugsnax. Now, I don't remember if at the time they said it was free DLC, but they have confirmed that no, it is free DLC. So if you own Bugsnax, if you got it for free on PS Plus through PS5, you get this new DLC for free, which blows my mind, because I would have happily paid money for this. Bugsnax is such a good game. It's Game of the Year Bugsnax after all, that I would have gladly paid money for this to support the developers. But on top of this, they also revealed the game is coming to, because it's already on PC, but it's coming to Xbox and it's coming to Switch. And as part of it coming to Xbox, it is coming to Xbox Game Pass. So now I'm thinking like, oh, do I double dip? Do I buy the game? I mean, I could play the game again on Game Pass, which I think still gives the studio money. As far as I know, yeah, playing the game on Game Pass would give some of my Game Pass money back to the studio. Oh, sugar snap peas. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about that. But yeah, or do I just straight up just double dip? Because that's totally an option. Oh my gosh. I would have had that if I didn't screw up right there. If I had... Oh my gosh. But yeah, I do wonder how they're going to continue, because if you played Bugsnax, or if you watched me play through Bugsnax, the game kind of sort of ends on a cliffhanger. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but they do definitely hint that something nefarious is going on. So I do wonder, like, is this Isle of Bigsnax gonna delve into that some more? Or are we gonna get something completely different? Or are they saving that for a Bugsnax 2? Is this the Bugsnax 2? How much content's in this? Honestly, again, it's a free DLC. I don't know, maybe I'm used to what Nintendo classifies as free DLC, which is like an extra character. This seems to be more substantial. Again, I would have happily paid money for it. Young Horses the studio has more than earned my respect. I would have happily paid money for it, but we'll see. But yeah, will I be streaming it? Oh, you better believe it. I probably won't get to it until mid-May-ish. So it's probably gonna be a while. But I am definitely curious, right? Like, I'm definitely excited for it. And like I said, it's coming to Game Pass, it's coming to Switch. It's Bugsnax. Come on, man. Everyone's talking about Bugsnax. Oh, it's Bugsnax. If this doesn't load, I'm gonna go get water. And then we'll move on to our next topic. But yeah, no, I'm just super excited. If we did get a new trailer, I actually didn't see it. I just saw the announcements. Oh, speaking of announcements, just completely random, I'll throw this in here. Oh, and did I say it comes out on the 28th? So it comes out the very end of the month. I think that's the last Friday of the month, or maybe it's like a Thursday. It's a Wednesday. It's a Thursday at the very end of the month. Okay. A completely unrelated thing. The game 2D and Top D came out on Nintendo Switch. I think 2 days ago. I think it came out on Thursday. 2D and Top D is an indie game made by, I think, two people. It's a guy and his brother, and they made the game, and it's about switching between a 2D and a 3D-ish perspective. And it's a platformer. The game is difficult. There was an update that made it a little easier, but the game can be kind of difficult. But it's very good. It did not make my Game of the Year list, because I never actually beat it, because again, it's kind of difficult. But it is very good, and it did make my honorable mentions. And if I do eventually end up beating it, I will put it on my Game of the Year list this year, if I ever get around to it. But it is very good. I do recommend it, and I hope the Switch port's really good. I haven't tried it because I bought it on Steam. But yeah, it's a really good game. 2D and Top D. Yeah, go if you're a platforming person, if you like platformers, I highly recommend checking it out. I will continue onwards when I get back. I'm just gonna go grab some water real quick. I'll be back in like a minute or two. Alright, I'm back. I had to go do something stupid real quick. So next up, so as you know, famously Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Myriad of bugs, technically not unplayable, but pretty bad. And then finally, like, almost a year later, over a year later, yeah, I think it was like a year and 3 months, it got a next generation update that made it, I guess, playable, right? Because games have release dates, the day they release, and play dates, the days they're playable. Well, so CD Projekt Red, one of the other things they announced they were working on was, along with bringing Cyberpunk to the Xbox Series X and the PS5, they announced they were bringing The Witcher 3 to the Xbox Series X and PS5. Of course, you can play those games on these systems, but like they were going to do like a next-gen upgrade that had like better graphics and better details and whatnot. And now they just announced earlier this week that those have been indefinitely delayed. So, does this have something to do with Cyberpunk? Does this have something to do with the games? COVID? Who knows? Of course, we're still at the point where if you want to blame a delay on COVID, you can. Like, honestly, basically any game can blame anything on COVID for probably the next 2 years. I mean, I know that's what Quibi did, even though, like, honestly, one of the few things you cannot blame on COVID is, like a game, like a game getting delayed, totally. A game failing to sell? Nope. Because Quibi was a streaming service with content. People are indoors all day because of COVID, or at least at the time Quibi launched they were. Right? There's no reason for them not to use Quibi Except for that, oh wait, Quibi was a bad service, never mind. That's why Quibi failed, because it was terrible. I mean, did you see Sam Raimi's Golden Arm? I'm sure he'll do fine with the new Doctor Strange. Holy crap. I'm surprised Fall Guys hasn't had a next-gen upgrade. I mean, I don't know what, like, they'd improve. What, better lighting? Better shaders? I don't know. But yeah, no, The Witcher 3, so that's been indefinitely delayed. I own Cyberpunk. I was able to get a used copy for $5 back in, I want to say, like, November of last year. So, yeah, and since the play date happened, I've always been like, maybe I will play it one of these days. Like, maybe I'll, because the upgrade is free from the PS4 to the PS5 version. And I think it's the same way on Xbox, so I was like, you know, maybe I will. But so far, I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so this Witcher 3 delay, you know, it happens. I am so fucking... I said this 2 weeks ago when Breath of the Wild got delayed. I am so fucking tired of that Miyamoto quote. I never want to hear that Miyamoto quote again. But yeah, just let games get delayed. We don't need to bring up that quote every fucking time, especially for this, a game that's technically already out, that you can play on the consoles that got delayed for. I'm tired of it. Like, it's especially because there is an element of it that's not true. It's still like 85% true, but it's okay, not even 80. It is still true, but it does definitely have its fallacy in it. Because there have been early released games that were eventually made good. And there have been later released games. But my one hope for the Cyberpunk thing, the whole reason I bring it up in the first place... Oh, I could just jump and hit that. I need to do that more often. The Witcher thing is because hopefully they've learned their lesson from Cyberpunk. And that hopefully, as part of the reason this has been delayed, is because it's been buggy. Because I know, right, we don't talk about The Witcher 3 as buggy, but I guess it was actually kind of buggy. Not like Cyberpunk levels of broken, but still somewhat broken. So the hope is that maybe as part of this delay, they do actually fix some of those problems. That would actually, right, maybe they'll fix some of the bugs. Maybe CD Projekt Red has learned their lesson and realized that, no, we can't, if we want to, because Witcher 3 earned them so much credibility, so much good faith, that Cyberpunk just destroyed. Okay, admittedly, they do also crunch their employees, which is also pretty bad. And if as part of the explanation for this, part of the reason they're delaying it is so that way they don't have to crunch their employees, perfect. I would love that explanation. I don't think that's the explanation they gave, but I hope it's true. We'll see. We'll find out. We will, because guess what? The truth always gets out. But I do hope that's one of the reasons, potentially. But yeah, if CD Projekt Red wants to earn back some goodwill, they can stop crunching their employees and they could really fix up this game. We'll see. Next up, something I always mean to talk about every week, and then I just always forget about, is the Minecraft snapshots. We've been getting snapshots for the Wild update, 1.19, and it looks very interesting. I think the Warden stuff is very interesting, first of all. I like, in the most recent snapshot, they added, they gave it, like, a sonic attack. So that way, if you're, like, trying to, like, you know, hide above the Warden to, like, avoid it, well, yeah, that's not going to work anymore. You can't just hide above the Warden and, like, attack it to do, like, 400 damage. No, he can sonic attack you now and knock you off. I like the idea of the Warden just being something that you can't kill. Like, I get why they're not giving it infinite health, like making it just straight up unkillable. But I like this idea of just this mob that, no, you can get all the rewards without killing it. That's good. That's interesting. So I love that they're leaning into it. I think the Warden is super fascinating. I was expecting it to change by now. So yeah, everything with the Warden, and yeah, giving it the Sonic attack really does, like, counteract its one big weakness. So gosh dang it. I don't even think, even if we had grabbed onto it, I don't think we would have made it. It's all because of that fan area. But yeah, no, I've been super interested in everything with this Warden, and the end cities look neat. I haven't played around with them or anything. I just think they're very interesting, like, design-wise, they look really cool. I want more rewards, because for a long time, the only reward was, like, sneaking pants. There were, like, these pants that allowed you to, like, sneak better, and that just didn't appeal to me. Like, that's not a good reward for exploring these new cities. These, did I call them end cities? I didn't mean to call them, I don't remember, they're a skulk? I know there's, like, a new biome in the underground called a skulk biome, but no, these have a different name. They're not skulk. It's a stronghold, a fortress, nether fortress. Oh god, skulk ruins, maybe that's what it is, a skulk ruin. I just think they're really neat. But, like, originally I was like, there's no good loot here. And then in a snapshot, I didn't actually even know about the snapshot, because all my snapshot news comes from Exuma. So, right, if I learn anything about a snapshot, I've heard about it from Exuma. And he took some time off. So when the new snapshot came out, I didn't even hear about it until he covered it on, like, Sunday. Which, you know, is fine. Right? Take time off, right? Still one of the best Minecraft YouTubers. Right? Still one of the best. And so, when I finally found out about the snapshot, and they revealed the new thing they had added. There's, like, these special, like, sculpt crystals. And you can use these sculpt crystals to make this new compass. Now, in not the most recent update, but the update before that, 1.17, they added in, like, these netherite nodes that you can craft that allow you to point compasses at them. And those are actually really neat. I've used those in some stuff I've done. No, those actually work really well. But they added this new compass that points back to the last place you died. So, like, if you die, boom, you respawn at your house, and now in your house you have one of these compasses. Like, let's say you're caving and you don't know where you died. This compass will point you directly to where you died. A fantastic addition. I legitimately love this compass. I think this is a great addition to the game. Because it's something, like, in a hardcore world, sure, it'll have no issue, but I don't play hardcore, so that doesn't matter to me. As someone who plays more casually, this will have great use, because this allows me to find where my stuff is, because there have definitely been occasions where I have died and had no idea where my stuff was. And I've just lost it. Now, again, assuming I can go there and get my stuff, right, assuming I can get all the stuff to make this compass, no, this is a great addition. I love this, right? This is fantastic. Because it's a bent, like, I know some people say, like, oh, Minecraft is getting too complicated. Oh, because, like, Minecraft is adding too many things that are, like, too advanced. I completely disagree. Right? Like, I know that's something developers do worry about, is they want to strike a balance between adding new cool things without making the game, like, too complex. But I feel like the good way to achieve that balance is to add in... add in new, like, end game items. Like, stuff you get, like, after you beat the Ender Dragon. That, you know, add really cool things to the game. Because right now, there really isn't anything like that. Or, you know what I mean. Like, there is nothing in the game right now that works like this Death Compass. So that's why I think it's a great addition, because there's nothing else like it. I'm trying to get on the others. God, I hate these barrels so much. I know I could go for one of the other things, but nah. But no, like, I think Minecraft's been doing a good job at finding that balance. Admittedly, I kind of wish they went farther sometimes. Like, sometimes they play it very safe. Because this all starts with Elytra. I feel like Elytra was the first thing added to the game that was actually kind of complicated, right? That added all these complicated mechanics. But since then, they've added tons of other stuff, right? The shulk boxes. What else? Shulk boxes are the first thing that come to mind. The beacon. I consider the beacon a post-game item, right? Anything after the dragon, I guess, is technically post-game. The conduit. The conduit's weird, but, I mean, you can technically get one pre-game, like, before you beat the dragon, but I don't know anybody who's done it like that. Yeah, shulk boxes are definitely a thing. Netherite definitely feels like... I know it's not. Again, technically you can get it pre-game. Netherite feels like a post-game thing to me. But no, I feel like adding... I know people worry about power creep. But no, I feel like adding this Death Compass is a great addition that will help out some players. That is something that has to be earned, right? Skulking around these skulk biomes to get this, great addition. But yeah, sometimes I do wish they would go farther. I love some of those mods, like Tech It, like Feed the Beast. I know there are others that exist. Right, there are some... We're just going to do some name show. There are some really good mods out there, right, that add in tons of great, interesting features. And I would love for them to delve some more into that and add some of those, like, great features that have been added. But no, Totem of Undying, there's another one. That's a big post-game reward. Because I don't know anybody who... Unless you just happen to stumble across one, I don't know anyone who goes to the Woodland Mansion before the raid. Do you get a Totem of Undying during the raid? You might. I actually need to stream Minecraft at some point, because there are 3 new achievements added to the game, and I haven't got any of them, and I figured I would do them on stream again. One of them is going to be easy, the other 2 are... No, actually 2 of them are going to be easy. The third one is going to be very hard, the villager one. I'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I think all this new stuff is great additions. The one thing I'm waiting for, which I don't expect in the Wild update, but I expect it in the next update, is a new dimension. Oh, also, we talked about the April Fool's Day. I know we did. I know I talked about the April Fool's Day update that allowed you to, like, hold blocks, hold mobs, allow us to do some of that stuff in the default game. Give us, like, a glove that we could make that allows us to do it. I don't know how, I don't care how they do it. Some of that stuff is really cool. Like, I don't want them to get rid of the inventory or anything, you know. But I feel like some of those, like, picking up stuff additions are just really cool. And it does annoy me when Minecraft does things in, like, the April Fool's Day stuff that then just never make it into the default game that are cool ideas. Right? It took years after stained glass was introduced in an April Fool's Day joke to actually put it in the default game. I don't need, like, the pink wither. I don't need the infinite dimension stuff. Even though that would be neat. The infinite dimension stuff would be a neat addition. Technically, I don't need it. Maybe as, like, a debug menu thing. You know? But no, I definitely... The thing I do think... So, 1.20... I think we're going to get a new dimension. Because if you look at these Skulk Ruins... There's this giant frame in the center of them. And it would make sense if through that frame you can go to a new dimension. I mean, the end was added, what, 10 years ago? It's been long enough. We've redone the Nether. The end's gotten an update, gotten a redone or two, a redux or two along the way. The overworld just got its big redux. I think it's time to finally add a new dimension, and I think this portal is a good way to do it. I do think that it's finally time that they do add a new dimension. I know there was this big controversy because someone made an Aether mod and put it on Bedrock Edition without the permission of the guy who originally created the Aether mod, who works at Mojang, and I know there was a lot of controversy around that. Is it finally time to do the Aether? It would be really cool. It would be really neat, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I definitely do want something new. I don't need it to go as far as, like, Twilight Forest. Even though, again, Twilight Forest would also be pretty cool, and I know Twilight Forest adds in a lot of neat things. I don't know. They clearly don't want to do Twilight Forest, but they want to strike, like, a balance. And yeah, I think Aether would be a good one, but we'll see. This is still mini... The update... There is potentially the update's actually closer than we think. Like, it probably won't be out until the next Minecon-ish. But, like, they've already started doing bug fixes for the new update. Because, you know, we got mangrove swamps and as well. And we've got frogs. I know the frog lamps are an achievement. Are going to be an achievement to get a frog lamp. And that just sounds like a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Because, yeah, you couldn't grow tadpoles in the nether. You'd have to do... Oh! Oh my god. The rhino one still sucks. It's so hard. Or at least it can be. We've got 3 levels tonight. But yeah, no, I'm excited for when this stuff eventually comes out, but I do hope they keep adding rewards to this this end ruin, because well, yeah, the enchantment means nothing to me. Like, I honestly do not care. Like, I don't think I've ever used Soul Walker before, which was the new one in the Nether update. But getting some of this new, right, with these new crystals and whatnot, that's really cool. Add in some more new stuff. Add in some like, if we're gonna go against this mob who can two-shot a player in full netherite armor, I want some really good rewards. And this compass is the first reward that we've seen so far where I've been like, that's worth it. That's worth two-shot hit to just try to get this thing. I want more, though. I feel like that's not enough. So we'll see how they keep going, and I do hope they keep going. Like, I don't even know if you can find, like, netherite in these structures. Because, I mean, I guess theoretically, you could get lucky and stumble upon one of these structures early on in the game and loot them. So, like, I get, like, because, like, end cities can have that insane stuff in it. But they can get away with it because they know you've at least beaten the dragon. Probably, anyways. Or, you know, you've made one of those contraptions that flies you across the end. But no, you've probably beaten the dragon by that point. So that's how they can get away with it. But I really do want better loot in these cities. Because I don't even know if you can get diamonds in them at the moment. Which, that I would consider a problem. But I don't know. I'm really excited for whatever the new Minecraft update. Right? I really only play the game every time a new update comes out. But I keep an eye on the snapshots, and man, it's so good. I feel like a lot of people have that nowadays. Right? Because there was the period where Minecraft was on the top of the world, and it still kind of is. Like, it's still one of the best-selling games of all time. Or it still is the best-selling game of all time. But there was a period where everybody turned on it, and it was like, oh, it's only a kid's game. Blah, blah, blah. And then eventually millennials and young Gen Zer, like, you know, Gen Zers born in, like, 2000, grew up and were like, oh, yeah, I crave that nostalgia. So, yeah, Minecraft is good again. But they only play it in, like, oh, you play it, like, once every, like, 4 months. You get this, like, craving to play it. You play it, you do everything, and then you don't touch it for another, like, 4 months or a year. That just seems to be a pattern nowadays, and, you know, it's whatever. So let's get to WIBE, right? What I've been enjoying. And, I was going to play Tunic. I've been wanting to play Tunic for the past, like, week now. but I haven't got around to it. Instead, I've been, like I said, I've been watching TV and whatnot, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But I did play a little bit of Kirby, because I was doing some other things, and I was like some other things that just had like a lot of waiting time in between them. Or I was like listening to a book, and I was like, I need something to do. But I don't want to, like, I want to actually give some attention to Tunic. So I booted up Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. And I was like, you know, let's get some of those Waddle Dees. So I, like, went back and I got the Waddle Dees, and I think, like, the first, like, 2 worlds. But I also did the True Arena a few more times. I did the True Arena, like, 5 more times. I'm not even joking. Because, you know, I wanted to get all of the power upgrades. For, like, all the ability upgrades, I mean. And I needed crystals. And the easiest way to get crystals is to do the True Arena, which gives you 3 crystals every time you complete it. So I did the True Arena, like, 5 more times. Yeah, I did it a lot. And it was, if you watch my first, where I beat it on stream, I beat it in, I think, 27 minutes, 3 restarts. I have now beaten it in 9 minutes. I think my record right now is 9:06. Without, I think I've used 2 tomatoes. I think that's been my best so far. 2 tomatoes. And honestly, most of the run is spent in the final boss. Like, the first 4 minutes are the first 11 bosses. And then the final, like, 5 minutes is the final boss. Maybe it's the other. Maybe the first 5 minutes are the, bosses, and then the last 4 are spent in the finale. I worried about breaking my Joy-Con, because, you know, the controllers have drift. And for the final boss, you have to, like, shake the control, right? You have to, like, Mario Party shake the stick. And I was like, oh god, am I gonna break my Joy-Con from doing this so many times? But I did it a bunch. But I was able to get every crystal I needed. So I was able to upgrade I was able to get every ability. I upgraded Hammer as well. So yeah, that worked out really well. And yeah, I got good at the True Arena. But then, it's like, okay, I think you get $2,000 for beating the True Arena. So I had $10,000, or 10,000, right, Kirby currency. And I was like, I wonder, can I use these currencies to buy all the figures? Right, like, how much of this currency will I have to spend to buy all the figures? So I just took that, like, 10,000 I had from beating the True Arena, like, 5 times in a row. And I used 8,000 of it, and I was able to get every figure. I am missing one. There is one figure you get. It's a blue figure, and you get it for doing every one of the bonus rooms. Right, you know, the rooms where you can get those crystal stars? And for some reason, I just, even though it says, like, you can look at the list, and my list says I've done every one, for some reason, it hasn't given it to me yet. So I must be missing something? I don't know what, but I must be missing something. I don't know if there's, like, after I save every Waddle Dee, it unlocks another treasure room or something. Because there is no trophy for getting every Waddle Dee. As far as I can tell, nope, that doesn't exist. But I'm only missing a singular trophy. And then I have them all. Because there were, like, some Waddle Dees I had to, like, do. I realized I never did the food service minigame. So I did the food service minigame to get the trophy for that one. I did a few of the other minigames to get their trophies. But yeah, I was able to purchase every trophy. And then I didn't even, like, with all the money, I'm doing just, like, the normal game to, like, redo every level to get all the Waddle Dees. I was easily able to make all that money back. So yeah, all that money I spent, I'm back up at just doing, like, the first 2 worlds again. I'm back up at $7,000. So I have made some good money off of this game, I will say. But yeah, and I don't know if I'll do any more, because, like, from here on out, I'm writing a lot of papers, so, like, those are more proactive. But, you know, at the moment, I had stuff that was less, so that I could actually focus on other things for. So yeah, that's what I've done in Kirby. I still basically have to replay every level. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And there was one in the third world where I'm at. There's just one I cannot find for the life of me. I have no idea where this Waddle Dee is. Yeah, and then using Morphonite Sword to beat all of the bosses again without taking damage, so easy. It's a joke, honestly. But yeah, what else? So, TV, the first thing I want to talk about is Moon Knight, because we haven't actually talked about Moon Knight yet. I've been enjoying it. It's definitely a different show. Like, in the first episode, the thing I really did like was that you don't see any of the action. That you don't, as the viewer, it cuts to black, and then you wake up, and then you cut back with Steven, and you're like, as he's finding out what happened, you find out what happens. And I like that. That's different. That's interesting. So yeah, that I've been thoroughly... So I enjoyed that in the first episode. I know some people were disappointed by that. Right? They want to see that action. I think it's different. And different is interesting, despite what some people will say. The second episode, meanwhile... the second episode, you see Steven and Mark fighting for control. You find out all about the guy who kills babies, Haro. It was okay. It was a little slower, definitely. I know, the first episode is mostly conversation. And people have brought up that the big problem with all MCU shows is their pacing. And yes, you are correct. The big problem is the pacing. I don't know, maybe it's just I'm thinking, like, I'm very lenient when it comes to this stuff. But I'm still, like, even though these shows have pacing problems, because, you know, they do like to sit down and chat. Like, one of the things that made Loki so interesting was that it spent basically its entire final episode just talking. There was no big fight scene. But the problem is, they also spend most of the previous episodes just chatting. I mean, sure, other stuff happens, you know, but, like, when they're, like, in the episode before the last one, or maybe 2 episodes before the last one, when they're on Lamentis, the moon, and it's about to explode, it's just them on the moon before it gets, like, or before the moon the planet before the moon crashes into it, or whatever. Right? It's very much of them just walking and talking. Yeah, sure, there's a neat set piece at the end, but it's a very relaxed episode up until that point. But yeah, so the second episode is definitely more relaxed. I mean, there are still the action scenes. I think the second episode is where you get Mr. Knight, that's how they're doing it. And then we got our third episode, which sets up that there's another personality that's more, like, violent, which I think is interesting in and of itself. And it does lead to some questions, like, has this one already come out before? And, like, Steven and Mark just don't know it? Right? It leads to some interesting speculation. But what I liked, and somebody else pointed this out, probably Sir Superhero over on TikTok was probably the person I saw who pointed it out, was that one of the interesting things about this episode is that Moon Knight fights like Moon Knight. Because one of the things about Moon Knight is that when given the chance to, like, fight, he won't, like most people when they're, like, fighting, they will just dodge a punch, right? If they're about to get punched, they'll just avoid it. Moon Knight just takes it head on. And as part of how we see Mark Spector fighting in this episode, when he gets hit, he just takes the hit, right? Like, he gets stabbed several times, and he just takes it, which is how Moon Knight works. Like, that's how Moon Knight fights as a character. So I think that's very interesting, right? They clearly know what they're doing in there, because like there's a thing where like there's a joke that like when Taskmaster imitates Moon Knight, he gets hit more because, you know, Mark Spector won't dodge a punch. And that's exactly what we see in the show, is that, yeah, Mark Spector doesn't dodge punches. Steven freaks out, because right when he gets stabbed, he's like, oh shit, I got stabbed. And I'm out. I could have done better. But no, so that's really cool. I know people are complaining about the CGI, that the CGI doesn't look great. And the demon dog werewolf thing in the first episode, I guess it's also in the second episode now that I think about it, doesn't look that great, and I guess they are technically correct. But also, I think it's a matter of perspective. Like, have you ever seen those CW shows? In the CGI in CW shows like The Flash, it's very bad. Like honestly, we complain about like, oh, look at how Hulk is animated in this sequence. Oh my god, it's so bad. Look at Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster suit. Oh my god, this is clearly just done in like 10 seconds in CGI. Oh my god, it looks terrible. And yet, all of those things look 1,000 times better than literally anything in a Fox show, a CW show, what other studios do stuff? Other studios that, you know, do CGI, like action sequences. Yeah, no, Disney puts in like $20 million per episode. Sure, does it look as good as some of the movies? No. But does it look bad? No. Not at all. Not at all compared to like some of these other things. I mean, like, yeah, I can see it's not perfect, but if you compare it to like I said, anything in The Flash, Arrow, DC Legends of Tomorrow, oh my god, no, it looks way better. It's just a matter of perspective. It's and I always say that about like bad movies. Like, people always will be like, oh, this movie's so bad. No, if you think this movie is like terrible, then you have never seen a bad movie. It's people's privilege, honestly. Privilege of never seeing a bad movie. You can have privilege for that, right? I guess. Yeah. Oh, also, I didn't actually put this on here, but real quick, while I'm thinking of MCU stuff. But yeah, so I'm enjoying I will say, yeah, to wrap up Moon Knight, I'm enjoying Moon Knight. I think it's a good show. I'm definitely more interested to see once it like ends. Because right now, I'm like, oh, okay, I think Haru's interesting. I'm interested in the mystery. At the end, like, yeah, could they have just used like I saw someone on TikTok complaining like, oh, they could have just used an app to see what the stars looked like, or like a simulation. I mean, yeah, you're technically correct. But, like, let them have a cool set piece. Turning back the stars looks cool. Oh my god. This is what I fucking hate. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I will be the first to admit that. Right? I have my own biases and my own problems. But just, I know that was, and I know if, like, the person saw this, they'd be like, oh, well, I was just joking. It's the internet. It's impossible to tell anymore. Sarcasm died, 20 years ago. Get in fucking line. But no, they have a cool set piece of turning back the stars that ends with Moon Knight losing his powers, and, I'm forgetting his name, turning to stone. Khonshu? I'm gonna say Khonshu, because I think Amit is the one they're trying to resurrect. I don't know. Either way, again, I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, so there's 3 episodes left. They could totally fall apart in the end. But we'll see. So far, I am enjoying it. But then also, speaking of MC, before we move on to non-technical, still Marvel, but technically not MCU stuff. I do want to talk about, I did rewatch Spider-Man yesterday. Yeah, I rewatched No Way Home. Guess what? Surprise, surprise, No Way Home is still really good. I know a lot of people were complaining about, like, the CGI in No Way Home, especially compared to The Batman. Completely missing the point that the CGI they were comparing is just some random shot, like, 20 seconds into the movie, whereas the Batman is in, like, a climactic moment. Like, I want to say it's like an hour and a half in. No, it's definitely, like, if you do comparable stuff, yeah, sure. I don't know. It's that whole thing. Spider-Man, you know, there are certain things that become so popular that people will inevitably do hour-long rants about how they're actually bad. See Joseph Anderson's video on Mario Odyssey as a great example, because Mario Odyssey was so well received that it was only inevitable that somebody did a 2-hour-long video about why it's not actually that good. I've only ever seen the video once, and I do disagree with some of his points. He's got some things he's right about, but I do disagree with it. But it's still, Joseph Anderson's just so good at what he does. He put out an Elden Ring video recently, and I gotta play the game first, but I'm so fascinated to see that whenever I do. Because he's just so good at what he does. But yeah, I rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home. I forgot to write it down. Still really enjoy it. I can go full spoilers now, it doesn't actually matter. But yeah, it's so good. The one thing that... I don't know if I mentioned this the first time I saw it. Fucking Willem Dafoe, man, is so good. When he's playing like Norman Osborn, who's just like lost and confused, he does such a good job. But then when you see him turn into the Goblin, just the way he presents himself, his face, it looks like a goblin. Oh my god, Willem Dafoe is amazing. Like, holy shit. I'm just like I knew he was good, right? But like, just watching it again, like, that was one of the details that just stood out, and I was just like, my god, wow, just fantastic all around. But I really enjoy the movie. I think it's really good. Do I put it top tier MCU? Yes, but I think I put it top 4. And again, I made that joke about Moon Knight using the app. Spider-Man No Way Home, I know people were like, oh, well, why doesn't he just get people to forget about Mysterio? And yes, you are correct. He could have done that. But it would make for a less interesting movie. I have seen people point out, though, since the movie came out, like, on, like, home release, that, like, one of the things it is missing is one of Tom Holland's villains. Like, it would have been neat to get the Vulture back, or to get Scorpion, right? They set up Scorpion as learning Spider-Man's true identity, or that he wants to kill Spider-Man if he knows the true identity. That would have been neat to, right, actually get, like, a Tom Holland villain in there, who even if he just shows up at the end, just because, oh, he now knows the truth about his identity, and he's coming for him, and he knows where he is and everything, like, that would have been fine as well. I don't know, but, like, they're so close to a Sinister Six, and yeah, so yeah, I get that, especially, and now with Michael Keaton in the Sony, potentially Andrew Garfield universe, I don't know. It does do that thing, though, and I know other people said this, and I do agree, that No Way Home is so good that it makes the Andrew Garfield movies better. Because the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man are not good movies, right? They really are not. The first one's fine, the second one, terrible. Spider-Man 3 is terrible, but it's terrible in a way that I enjoy it, right? Like, I have fun with Spider-Man 3. The Andrew Garfield second one is just like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it's not all bad. I love... The Gwen Stacy thing is heartbreaking. Especially because they are done so well in those movies. But yeah, no. And I guess, you know, Sony's so set on doing a Sinister Six, if they do a Sinister Six, right, Vulture, Michael Keaton's Vulture, Morbius, Kraven, and put it up against the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man as like one last hurrah for the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, wrapping up his trilogy, I'd be fine with it. I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to do that, but I could see it happening because they clearly really want to do it. I know it doesn't make perfect sense, but whatever, who cares? People are going to hate the Sony movies regardless. I think the first two Venoms are fine. They should have kept Tom Hardy in the MCU. They should have. I mean, if they're permanently moving Michael Keaton over to the Sony universe, they could have permanently moved Tom Hardy to the MCU. I know we're still setting up Venom, and that's going to be cool. Because, yeah, the movie ends... Because I remember seeing the meme at the time. When Spider-Man has lost everybody he loves, he's living in a one-room apartment, and he's got no money. And it's just the fans, like, cheering. Because when Spider-Man has lost everything, that's when people love him. And I get why people are that way. I don't know. I guess recently, ever since Superman retired, and his son has taken over, I definitely have been thinking more about, like, you know, maybe we should let characters just retire and have their happy endings. Maybe it's finally time for Batman to marry Selena Kyle and to settle down and let Tim Drake take over. I know some people say Damian. I guess there's been a lot of development in the Nightwing comics about not having Nightwing take over as Batman, and I didn't know that, but that's fine. So that's fine. Right, Nightwing not being Batman, I have no problem with that. But let Tim Drake do it then. It makes sense for him too. I just don't want Damian. I don't think Damian would be a good Batman, but that's just me. From what little I've read with Damian in it. But yeah, no. Let Bruce Wayne retire. Superman's retiring. Let Spider-Man finally settle down with MJ. I know there was Anna May Parker, his kid in an alternate universe, or Ben Reilly, because that was the original plan of the Clone Saga. Ben Reilly became Spider-Man while Peter Parker retired. I don't know. There's ways to do this. But yeah, I'm the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? It's good for characters to retire. And I don't need them. Like, you can do, like, crossover events, like what happens with, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Where, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist crossover. But I don't need, like... Right, I didn't need Barry Allen to come back. Wally West was my Flash in my childhood. I didn't need Barry Allen to come back. And I definitely didn't need them to get rid of Wally West. And then ruin him post, with Heroes in Crisis. I don't know, it's just something I've been thinking about recently. They're like, you know, it's okay to give these characters happy endings. They don't always need to die and be replaced. I mean, yes, you can do good character deaths. Supergirl in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Good character death, and I know Matrix came in to replace her. And yeah, that was fine. But sometimes you can just let characters die and move on. It's fine. Oh, look, it's the Satellite. Remember they were doing that Satellite event? That is probably their fortnight leading up to the next season. So, next season's going to be space, if I had to guess. Yeah, look, you can see the Satellite in the background. But yeah, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was, keeping in Marvel, the 2010, maybe 2011, Avengers show. Yeah, so before even the first Avengers movie, Disney, on Disney XD, did an Avengers show. Right? It's Iron Man, Tony Stark's Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Ant-Man, Wasp, and Black Panther. And, you know, they're doing the Avengers stuff. And they fight off, there's like an anti-Avengers led by Enchantress and Baron Zemo. I've only watched the first season. I've seen the first season and one episode of the second season. And I've been meaning to talk about this and I keep forgetting to. But, right, like, that's like one of the early things. But they set up so many other things. Like, because there's, like, early on, they set up, like, there's this big, like, villain plan. Led by, like, Loki and the Enchantress to take over, like, the Nine Realms. And like this, it's something that slowly gets built up through the entire first season, while they're also setting up all these other storylines. Like when Captain America gets freed from the ice. Guess what? King the Conqueror comes back to try to stop, because Captain America shouldn't be in the modern day, and he's going to do something that will destroy the timeline. So King the Conqueror has come back in time to stop him and conquer Earth. So that's like one of the things they're setting up. They go and raid Hydra's base at one point to try to stop the Black Widow. And you learn that she's like a double agent, or a triple agent, I guess. And when you do, they reveal that the Skrulls are coming to Earth. And there's a whole episode with the Kree and, right, Captain Marvel. And that's where they set up Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers. Who I'm assuming is going to be... I don't know if she's going to be Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel first. We haven't seen her since that episode. But they set up that she has powers. And there's a lot. Like, they're setting up a lot. Like, they're setting up the Kree and the Skrulls. I'm assuming King the Conqueror is going to come back at some point. Because the whole thing that leads Captain America to destroy the Earth hasn't happened yet. And there's other stuff in the MCU that's been mentioned. Like, early on, they mentioned that, I think his Havoc, who's like a tornado supervillain, is a mutant. Like, the Wasp catches him in, like, the first or second episode. And yeah, they set up that he's a mutant. So that's something that's gonna... So maybe the X-Men will show up at some point. They mentioned the Fantastic Four several times throughout the show. And then in the Season 2 premiere, Doctor Doom shows up. So yeah, they're doing a lot. And it definitely, like, they have a lot of storylines. And then the Season 1 finale is finally Loki's plan. Like, the Avengers get scattered across the 9 realms, and they have to find their way back to Asgard to defeat Loki. And Iron Man works with the dwarves of Nehemdelir? Something like that. To make an Iron Man, like a dwarf Iron Man suit. That, right, like, uses, like the metal that they used on Thor's hammer. And that's really cool. And yeah, it's pulling more stories from the comics. Because, again, the first Avengers movie hadn't even come out by this point. Like, of course there hasn't even been mention of Thanos. But instead they're using other villains, like Kang, like the Skrulls. And we know these are eventually coming to the MCU, right? Kang was set up at the end of Loki. We know they're doing a Secret Invasion show with Samuel L. Jackson. So these are all things that will eventually be part of the MCU. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying this show so far. It has a great intro, I will say. Like, the intro song got stuck in my head for a while. But yeah, it's doing a lot, and I do definitely feel like it has a lot of open threads. And now some of those are great. Like, when they set up, early on, they set up Ultron, in like the first episode I'm talking. Like, Hank Pym has built Ultron. And then it's just like that slow tick of like, when is Ultron gonna become a villain? And then finally, at one point, they like, after they fight Kang, you see like something in Ultron has changed. And then it's like that slow build up afterwards of like, oh, when are they gonna... And then in Ultron's first appearance, he kills Thor, right? Like, once he's gone evil. And it's just like, oh, shit. So, like, it's really, like, it's good. I don't know if part of the reason I was interested in watching the show is because someone talked about, there was a thing around the time the Suicide Squad came out last year, where like a bunch of YouTubers got together and did a series called like One Villainous Scene, where they talked about like a bunch of like great villain moments. And there was a big playlist of them, and one of the episodes was about this Marvel's Avengers show, talking about the Ultron bit, where like Ultron get access to the nukes. And like you finally get to see that episode. And that's what got me interested in the show. But I have been enjoying it. I'm definitely gonna... I actually haven't seen an episode in like a few days, because I've been, like, I started the second season, and then I put it, like, down for, like, 3 days. But I am really enjoying it. It's a pretty solid show. And yeah, setting up Secret Invasion, you find out Sue Storm's a Skrull, and right, it's doing a lot. But it's good. It's good. I don't want to say it's, like, blowing my mind, like, amazing. Like, it's not as good as, like, anything the DC animated universe ever did. Because the DC animated universe is amazing. But no, it's still it's bad to compare apples and oranges sometimes, right? Like, or what I mean is I don't want to compare apples and oranges. They're two different shows. Like, Justice League had 45 minutes for an episode. This show does 20, even though it does do a lot of two-parters. But yeah, no, they're definitely different shows. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I know there's only 2 seasons. I think it's like 25 episodes a season. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But I have enjoyed it. Of course. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I have been enjoying this Marvel's Avengers show. I've still got, a season left to go. Yeah, it's all on Disney Plus, so I've been able to just watch it there, no problem. Oh, barely. Yeah, no, it's pretty decent. I'm enjoying it, and I'm probably gonna finish it sometime in the next few weeks. So we will talk once I finish the second season. We will talk about it again to see how it all ends off. But the first season's pretty solid so far. What else? So the last thing I do have to talk about, I think it's the last thing on here. Let me check my list. Yeah, so it was board game night tonight, right? Got together with my group, and I think last time we talked, we did Binding of Isaac, which over the weekend, or over the past week, I found out that Requiem, the new Binding of Isaac, like, expansion pack for 4 Souls, has been delayed until, right, originally their goal was, like, June. No, their new goal is, like, October to November. So that sucks, you know. But the reasoning is that, like, delays from shipping out from China. I'm assuming there's still harbor problems with, like, ships being in the harbor because capitalism. It's all capitalism. I mean, admittedly, stuff coming from China is capitalism, but yeah. You know, it's fine. It's gonna be great, and we'll play it when I play it. But no, the game I did play was, I think I talked about how I'd finally picked up a copy of Wingspan, right? That I'd heard. One of the things I've been trying to do is get some of, like, the highest rated, most, like, prolific games of all time, right? The games that people just love, right? Like The Crew and Scythe, and Wingspan is one of them. And so I had finally picked up a copy of Wingspan, and we played it tonight. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Honestly, the group was very hesitant to play it. God damn it, so close. Because, they were kind of, because, right, it's definitely, because we're, you know, a more casual group. Like, the most complicated things we normally do are, like, Cities and Nights in Catan, right? Or, right, stuff like that. Right, like, we mostly do, like, party games. You know, like, more casual stuff like Werewolves, Binding of Isaac, Ticket to Ride. So Wingspan definitely added some more complication. And showing them, like, the tutorial of, like, how to play the game, they were, like, so, like, oh my god, this is so much. But I was like, and they were like, oh my god, this is going to take, like, 4 hours. And I was like, no, trust me, once you're sitting down to play it, it's going to be fine. And it's not going to go that long. It's not going to go 4 hours. Like, it's going to go, I think I was like, it's probably going to go, like, 70 minutes. So yeah, we sat down to play it. And the first few turns, they were like, what's going on? Even though they had watched the same video I did, they were like, what's going on? What are we doing? All right. But probably by like round 1, turn 4 was when they had started to like figure it out. And it was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like, there were some points where they were like trying to do like double actions and whatnot. And it was like, no, that's not how it works. One of them got really defensive. But no, definitely by turn, like, 4, it was like, okay, I see the pattern here. They definitely see how it wasn't going to take, like, 4 hours. I think it ended up taking, like, an hour and a half. But Wingspan is very good. I definitely, like, and you're doing all the rounds, you're trying to meet the goals of the rounds, you're not trying to screw anything up. You're trying to plan, like, you have, like, a, kind of like Ticket to Ride, you have, like, a, which is my comparison, you have, like, a goal you're trying to hit. Like, in Ticket to Ride, it's, like, destinations. In this, it's, like, fill out certain achievements. So it's like you're trying to keep those in mind, but you've only got, like, a certain number of goes each round. And every round, it's one less. So, right, the first round, it's 8 turns. And then it's 7. And then by the end, it's 5. So you definitely have to play more, like, you definitely have to, like, think farther and farther ahead. And yeah, and, like, so, like, at least from, like, everyone was going for, like, different things. For me, I was mostly focusing on my, like, objective card, like, the green card said to put, was all about land birds. So, right, like, the grass ones, like, the yellow ones. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on those. And I put some into resources. But then for the, like, in the in the third round, I was like, I need to start playing some water stuff. Because each round has, like, a separate objective. In the round 4 objective was water birds. So I was like, okay, I at least need to get some water birds. Because I didn't have any, like, until, like, round 3. But I was like, I was keeping that in mind. And then, so I had 2 water birds by the end of round 4. Because I had already met the objective for round 3. I've met it, like, like, turn 2. So I was like, okay, now I've got to do this stuff. So I focused on water birds. And then for the final round, I was just like, egg. Right? I was just making eggs. And I was slowly building resources to get a, so I built one bird, like, round, like, 2. And then the other, like, 4 turns were just eggs. Because, you know, eggs are worth points at the end. And I just barely managed to win it. At the end. Because I didn't, like, my goal, I did not succeed at. I realized I had screwed something up. And it was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to succeed on this. Okay. Shit. So I was like, you know, let's just spam eggs. And it all technically worked out in the end. Barely. I think I won by, like, 2 points. But yeah, it barely worked out in the end. But again, I've heard it's one of the best games of all time. And I do... Oh my god, I hate that jump. And yeah, going into it, I am definitely very interested in it. And it's like, yeah, I want to play more, because, like, I can already see how you can, like, stack up combos. Like, I had one card that was... Whenever I dug for eggs, I got a guaranteed, cranberry, or whatever it was called, right? A berry resource. So it's like, okay. And it was every player got a berry resource. And I was like, okay, I could totally see how you could combo that in. And I was also tucking cards. Or very early on, there's one that allows you to, like put resources on cards to, like, cash in for points. So very early on in the game, I was, like, trying to cash in as many resources on one card as possible. Because I saw that was something I could do. But I know, I really enjoyed it. And by the end, the rest of the group was enjoying it. Like, once they stopped resisting, and they just, like, as they learned the game, and they just let it take them, they had fun as well. At least I hope. I know if I asked them, they'd deny it. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was close. It was close. I think I was 2 points. Third place was 2 points below that. So it was all very tight. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to have to play it some more. But it has so much potential, that Wingspan, man. So yeah, I'm having a good time with board games. Next, I gotta try out Micro Macro Crime City. Or maybe I'll play some more Crew. I'll have to see what they want. I don't know, because you know sometimes I just like right they're always like, oh, let's play the safe game, let's play the game we know, but I think it's important to introduce new stuff, especially because I've been building up a stockhold. Right, like I've got so many things that we haven't touched at the moment, like Micro Macro Crime City, and it's just like we just gotta find some time to do it. I knew I was gonna hit that watermelon. I don't think I've got this. Even if I recover, there's more. I think there's more than 14 people ahead of me. Come on. Oh my gosh. I don't actually know if this is any faster. Oh. I bet they're going to throw us in a team game next. But yeah, so Wingspan was very good. And now I'm trying to figure out if I want to take anything to, when I go meet the family for Easter tomorrow. Like, I have so many things. Do I want to take anything? How many does medium support? We could always do werewolves. I know they like werewolves and they know how to play it. Same thing with werewolves. I know they know how to play it. Yep, what did I tell you, team game? Doesn't support enough people. I'm looking at all my board games right now. I don't think I know Anomia could, in theory, support a lot of people, but I don't think it works good with groups larger than 6. Like, honestly, I've played Anomia with, like, 8 people, and it was just, you couldn't see what's going on the opposite end of the board. And that was the big problem. Like, you just couldn't see anything. But Anomia is I haven't played it in a long time, but Anomia is pretty good, actually. Okay, we gotta really play defensive here. Yeah, if we're ahead, I'm all aboard playing defensive. I'm not even gonna look. I'm not pay attention to this. Yeah, Wingspan, I mean, again, it is one of the highest rated, it might even be the highest rated board game of all time. It's definitely up there. And I see it. Like, I see the potential there, especially for, like, comboing stuff. I see how you could get there, but I have to play it more to get that. But as a first playthrough, I think it went fine. I do have that. And I've never actually played that before. Oh. Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good time to do something new. Yeah, so I bet the medium probably supports enough people, but I wouldn't do Achievement Hunter actually did the medium this week. I mean, they do terrible at the game, but it was pretty entertaining. Oh, nice 10. What else? Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Maybe, but probably not. No, I'm not gonna do D&D. Oh God, could you imagine doing a D&D game that big? No, that doesn't support enough. It supports 10. That one's probably a safe bet, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know, I'm definitely going to think about it overnight. So let's get into the outro here. So how's it gonna... So tomorrow, no stream. It's Easter. Ugh, it's Easter. Ugh. So yeah, nothing tomorrow. But Monday, we will probably do some more Pokemon. So yeah, on Monday, we will probably be back with Pokemon. I know the Nuzlocke went bad. Again, I wasn't... I know I said I was going to fail. And by saying I was going to fail, I was setting myself up for failure. But I was not intentionally trying to fail. I was actually trying. Right? And it's funny because on the second run, I did a lot, right? I got to that same point. I skipped getting the Vulpix, but I was able to get that to that same point without losing anything as well. If I was playing if I was pretending like I was doing a Nuzlocke, I probably could have gone to the first gym. Because the only thing I ever fainted during that second run was stuff I was like, I could have switched out. And I probably would have played the first gem better instead of fainting like 2 things. But yeah, I probably will try Nuzlocke in Shining Pearl at some point on another date. But not today, at least. Like, not anytime soon. Where'd that Shovel Knight go? Okay, I'm gonna shut up and focus here. But yeah, no, we're gonna do more Pokemon. Definitely. Because I am still in... Oh! Oh, if I had just gone a second longer, I might have done it. But I didn't expect to bounce off the wall like that. If I just waited a second longer and gone in the middle. We did win a game tonight, honestly. So that... I mean, we won 1 at the very beginning. And we went up like 5 levels. Because I think we started at like 8 points away from 31. So yeah, we were right here. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we went up 4 levels. Still not bad. I don't know. They're definitely, like, we're still a ways away from this, but we're not too far. Honestly, I would love to get this. Because, you know, I like the dark theme faceplates. I think they normally look... The only reason we have a red one on right now is because it fits the catch-up. It matches the catch-up perfectly. I like this volcano one. Do I... Yeah, sure. I hoard my crowns like a dragon most of the time. Except for on stuff like, you know, our Bunger hat. Because we've been catch-upped. Yeah, what else are we gonna do? Yeah, I think that's literally it. We're gonna do that on Monday. Then I'll probably be off until, you know, Saturday again, and we'll come back on Sunday. So that's, honestly, the stream schedule is literally just gonna be the weekends. Saturdays in chats, and Sundays are, the other thing. Are whatever game, like the actual game we're doing, at least until, probably the end of May. Then probably for May and July we might change, or for June and July we might change things up. Do some more frequent stuff, but for at the moment, no, we're 2 streams a week, which admittedly is more than normally I did 1 a week. But yeah, I definitely got to get through this last semester of college. So yeah, I've got it pretty busy, but we shall see. Yes, indeed, we shall. Yeah. Anything else? Nothing I can think of. Yeah, nothing I can... I don't know. I gotta play 2. And I'm gonna do that off stream. Kind of like I know I could have, like, of the Kirby I played, I probably could have done some of that on stream. Like, you know, doing the True Arena another 5 times. But it is important to do stuff off stream, and and like I said, I'm kind of ready to move on from Kirby, and I probably won't, like, I know I think I'm at like 96%. I probably won't get those last 4%. I might, but I don't plan on it at the moment. I have other things to do. But yeah, yeah, we'll be back on Monday for, which is, yeah, just because we're only doing it because I have Monday off because of Easter. That's it. That's the only reason we're doing it on Monday. That's the only reason we did it on Friday. Or, well, no, technically I got Monday off because of Easter, and I get Friday, or I got Friday off because of Easter, and I get Monday off because of tax day. So, yeah. Because all hail the U.S. government. No, that'd be a tasteless joke. Fuck the U.S. government. But pay your taxes. Like, fighting Batman is one thing, fighting the IRS is a whole different thing. The IRS don't fuck around. But yeah, with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.